Hello to you and welcome to the Ingles table. I'm Kelli.
And I'm Erin. We're from the Southern table and we have a delicious sweet and savory flatbread for y'all. This is a blueberry and goat cheese flatbread.
If it has goat cheese, I'm on board
we're
already.
on board for this, yes. And it's truly so easy to put together. Ingles, the bakery, has this delicious flatbread.
Perfect.
Ready to go for you. So no baking of bread. Let them do the work. It is so good for you. All right, we're gonna start by making it almost like a pizza, if you will. So it's super easy. Less than 5 minutes to put this together.
I love this.
Once you get all the ingredients out. So we're starting with an apricot jam. Ingles has an incredible selection of jams and preserves. So if you wanted to kind of mix it up, you could pick your favorite. About 2 to 4 ounces of this is really all you need because you don't want it to get too runny. This is just a nice little fruity sweetness there.
Oh, it looks amazing.
Base. So good.
Adds a little hint of color and, like you said, that sweet.
Yes.
It's a little bit unexpected on a flatbread, pizza style, but this will be so much fun to include the kiddos. Let them help you with this, but I love this base.
And this is like mom and dad's dessert, is what I like to say. Let the kids help you build it, and then mom and dad can enjoy this once the kids go to bed.
The fancy side of flatbread.
Also a great appetizer as
yes,
well.
Perfect.
Okay, so once you get a little bit of that on there, just for the color, we're going to add the goat cheese. So we just got the plain goat cheese from the cheese section. They have that ready to go for you. And we've simply done little larger crumbles of this.
Yes, and there are tons of ways you can do this. You can chop it if you're more of a chopping person. We find that it just melts better, looks better.
Yes, and there's really no rhyme or reason to where you place this. Just kind of get an even spread there. Like you said, it's gonna just melt so beautifully.
Oh, and looks so good. And if you're a goat cheese fan, add more. The more the merrier, right?
I was gonna stop, and then I was like, oh, maybe one more
going.
piece there.
Keep
Because you
going.
want a little bite of that in every bite of your flatbread. How good does that look? Okay, let me wipe my hands off. Next, the blueberries.
Okay.
So we hit up the produce department for a fresh box of blueberries. These are so good.
And they've got you covered. Ingles has all the fresh produce. You grab it and go, rinse it at home, and you are good to go. Look how beautiful these look. And
honestly, as you're building it, if you're like, I need a little more blueberries, need a little more goat cheese, just add that in there.
Keep going.
Yes, it's gonna melt so beautifully.
And this really is a recipe I think your family would love because I know my kids eat everything that's on here so far.
If it's sweet, they're usually on board, right?
If it's like a dessert, check, they're there.
Especially if they're a blueberry fan.
Right.
But you can also use blackberries on this as well. I've done that before and it is really tasty.
Okay.
Do we need more cheese, you think?
Maybe a little more cheese. You're being stingy with that goat cheese. Let's bring it on. The more the merrier, right? Looks so good.
So good. And maybe a few more blueberries.
A few more?
And then
we just keep adding.
I mean,
it looks so tasty. We keep adding. That's the thing I like
about recipes like this. You know, it's you can just keep adding or taking away.
They're very flexible.
Now I'm gonna brush the edges of this with some olive oil before we pop this in the oven, and it's gonna go in at 375 for just about 8 to 10 minutes until everything gets nice and bubbly. You could broil it a couple extra minutes if you like your flatbreads crispier. It's really kind of what you prefer.
And how about you? Are you a...
I like a good crispy crust.
Me too. Yes. I was going to say broil
Crisp it up. I'm like that even, I know this is random, but I'm like that even at the campfire with my marshmallows.
Absolutely. I like it. I like the crunch. Yes. All about the crunch.
So we're going to pop that in the oven, and then we're going to top it off with some fresh mint and honey when we come back.
And we're back. Who's hungry?
Now the blueberries have softened, the cheese,
so
the jam, it's all kind of mixed together. We're just gonna top this up with a little bit of honey, mint, and a little salt, and then we'll be ready to eat.
Oh my goodness, it smells delightful. We only wish you could smell this.
Oh my goodness, so good. All right, the honey, the Laura Lynn honey is so good, y'all. I'm gonna just drizzle this on. Now you could get fancy and use a little honeycomb, but we're just gonna use it straight from here because these do so well. Across.
Beautiful.
Look how pretty. Then the mint.
To just top things off.
Now Ingles does have the fresh mint plants, which you can kind of use over and over again, or you can buy them in little packets over by where the salad lettuce is.
Yes.
So you've got a couple of different options depending on how many of these you're gonna make.
And this just makes the most beautiful flavor addition to this already.
And you can also chop up the mint. I kind of like leaving it like this so you can see the beautiful freshness and get a nice bright taste of that mint as you're eating it.
Beautiful. Then last but not least,
a little bit of kosher salt. Yum. And that is it.
Oh my goodness, this looks divine.
So good. Hey, while you're here, you can get this recipe, tips, tricks, and other great ideas in the kitchen.
Yeah, make sure you check that out. Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you back here next time.